POTS stand for? It stands for postural orthostatic.
Hi, so that's Dr. Erin, and she's an orthopedic consultant. So that's a bone doctor consultant. Fantastic. And she's explaining that she didn't learn at med school about POTS syndrome. And what she's given is fantastic information. Go watch her TikTok. But it's limited. According to her, you have to pass out. No, not always. Not everybody with POTS syndrome will faint. The other thing she forgot to mention that POTS syndrome is highly linked to a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobility Ehlers-Danlos, HEDS. And it's also quite highly linked to neurodiversity because we know Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a problem with the collagen. We've also found that that's highly linked with ADHD. It's also linked more specifically with autistic spectrum disorders. And we tend to see the prevalence in them is much higher. And it's one of those things that they will often experience, not necessarily fainting, falling on the floor, going, oh God. They will get the bouts of quick dizziness. They got up too quick, too dizzy. They didn't eat, too dizzy. Equally, they can laugh, they get dizzy. They can have ejaculation, they get dizzy. It's anything that would suddenly raise or mess with their blood pressure. They're in shock, they get dizzy. They get these bouts of dizziness. They'll get a sensation of aura and their eyes will go a bit funny. And as quick as it comes, it's gone. Or they'll get like an intense headache and it's like, oh, I feel a bit off. And then they feel a bit off and nauseous and maybe a few headaches and chronic fatigue for the rest of that day because their BP and their heart monitor's just gone a bit whoa. And it can't be checked. Tilt tables are a fantastic one to diagnose POTS. It's harder to get those tests done in the UK. And if you are considering that you may have POTS, you need to speak to, in the UK, a cardiologist, but you also may need to speak to a rheumatologist. Now, they're going to say, well, you haven't got rheumatoid arthritis. They don't just see you for that. You need to be tested for these other conditions. So if you do have neurodivergency in your family, and you are experiencing multiple bouts of lightheadedness, dizziness, may or may not have actual fainting, and it's often worse when you change from a position specifically laid to seated or standing up too quick. You might want to go get this checked and make sure you don't suffer from POTS. This has been Thoughts with Points. Hope it helps.